Hi friends, and welcome to day 2 of line plots with fractions. Today we're going to be doing pages 467 and 468 together, and then on your own you're going to be doing page 470, okay? And just a disclaimer, I apologize if you hear any noise in the background. I am recording in school, and there are classrooms doing activities and assignments, so if you hear background noise, that is why. So we're going to start with page 467, and then we're going to check our work on page 468. So let's get started. 10 students in Mrs. Hallberg's class, we have 10 students, are growing plants. One day they measured the heights of plants in inches, and the heights are shown here. Make a line plot to represent the data. So this is our data, and we have to make a line plot to represent the heights of plants. So first thing is we need a title. So we can call it plant heights. And there's 10 students here, so we need to make sure that we have 10 points of data. So we're going to start by drawing the line for our line plot. And we're going to look and see what our smallest number is. So if we look, our smallest number looks to be 1 1/4. So I'm just going to write an S next to it for smallest. And our largest one that gives us a piece of data is right next to it, actually, the 2 5/8. So this is the largest, so S and L. So that means we have to have a number line that goes from 1 1/4 to at least 2 5/8. I'm just going to do one that is 1 to 3, okay? So we're going to start with 1 over here, and then we're going to divide it up like this. So we have 1, and then we have 1 1/8, and then we have 1 1/4, and then we have 1 3/8, and then we have 1 1/2, 1 5/8, 1 3/4, 1 7/8, and then we have 2, and then we have 2 1/8, and then we have 2 1/4, 2 3/8, 2 1/2, 2 5/8, and I'm actually running out of room, so we're just going to stop at 2 3/4, okay? Just so we have a beginning and end to our line plot. So now we have to go and plot our data. So at every measurement, we're going to put an X. So for 2 1/2, I'm going to look for 2 1/2, and I'm going to give it an X. And friends, I forgot to label my axis again. This is our height in inches, okay? This is important. I don't know why I keep forgetting it, but we have to label our bottom axis. Okay, we have a title, and then we have a label on the bottom. So we have 2 1/2. I'm just going to check it off so I know we did it. Then we have 1 7/8. Give that an X, and then cross it off. We have another 1 7/8. 1 1/4 gets an X. 2 5/8 will get 1. 2 1/8 will get 1. 1 7/8 gets another 1. 1 1/2 gets an X. Another one for 1 7/8, and then we have 2 1/8. So it looks like 1 7/8 is the most measured plant height, right? So it looks like we have 4 plants with the same exact height of 1 7/8. Then we have 2 plants with a measurement of 2 1/8 inches, and then we have 1 plant measuring at 1 1/4, 1 plant measuring at 1 1/2, 1 plant measuring at 2 1/2, and then 1 plant measuring at 2 5/8 inches. So a little bit of a range, but this is how you make make a line plot with data points that are given to you. You could have also made a line plot just using eighths, or just using fourths, okay? And you just saw my lights turn off. Like I said, I'm in school, so sorry about that, okay? So if you have any questions on page 467, please pause now and ask. If not, we're going to check our work looking at page 468. So 468 is just showing 2 different ways we could have shown it. So, or how we could have set it up, right? So you can represent data values that are mixed numbers on a line plot. We know that. And the number line is divided into eighths from 1 to 3. The first three data values are 2.5, 1 7/8, and 1 7/8, and they're represented with X's above the number line. So just exactly what we did on the front. And this is with the more in-depth labeling of the line plot. So each tick mark on the line plot is labeled. The labels help you locate where to put the X's for each data value. As we saw on the previous page, it was much easier to just plug all the X's in because everything was labeled. And then again, the first three data values are shown here. So we have 2 for 1 7/8, and then 1 for 2.5. Obviously, this is not all of the data points. These are just the first three, okay? So we're gonna get more practice with this. If you have any questions, please let me know. And if you don't, you can jump right on into doing page 470 on your own. I'm in the Google Meet if you need me. Happy line plots.